Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Well, thanks for joining today's webinar with me. Okay, my name is Derek, and I'm the Insight System Engineer supporting the Southeast Asia region. So today topic we're gonna talk about technical overview, right? So particularly Vim, Microsoft 365 backup capabilities. And and of course, we will have a live demo of the product as well to provide some insight, right, about the Veeam Microsoft 365 backup. So before we start, uh, just a housekeeping rule, right, as usual. So everyone will be muted, right, during the entire webinar session. But of course, if you have any question, you can put your question in the question box. I'll try to address them at the very last minute of the this webinar. All right, so to begin with, let's start by review the Veeam consumption model on today's when come to protecting Microsoft 365 and essentially where we at right now. As we unpack Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365, well, Veeam do still offer the on-premise backup software solution, right, for Microsoft 365. Well, that not going anywhere soon, right? So, and then we also have our managed service provider, right? The offering where you could use the Veeam Cloud Services Provider as part of that program to have, to achieve someone else to manage those backup for you. And essentially, right, the new backup service offered by Veeam, the Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365, that is built on top of that industry leading technology by Microsoft 365. Okay, again, it is a backup as a services offering direct by Veeam that built with modern, secure, and intuitive user interface. Well, the whole idea is the interface is easy to use and you can take advantage of our backup services. But again, the beautiful things that we are so excited about today is that Veeam has integrated with Microsoft 365 backup storage into our Veeam Data Cloud for M365 backup. So we talked a bit about that, easy, modern, and intuitive strategy that we have for Veeam Data Cloud. But really, um, I wanted to highlight Veeam is not only trusted industry leading provider in this M365 space, right? Further to that, we are also protecting over 23 million users today in Microsoft Office 365. Well, we constantly safeguard our customer, critical Microsoft 365 data and ensure that their business keep running no matter what happen. That's the objective of us. And with this platform, everything is built in and included. Right? The entire backup infrastructure, the networking layer, the security layer, and tons of different components that we're gonna show you here in the next slide. So Veeam unpack the backup as a services for Microsoft 365 data. If you are a long-standing Veeam customer and you are familiar with backup software offering from Veeam, and yep, what we are focusing now is backup as a services offering. Okay, if you look at the left side of the diagram on this PowerPoint deck, right? So, well, that stated vendor managed service delivery on top. Well, and you also see a bunch of core components, right? And including some day two operation tasks. Well, all of these are now fully managed by Veeam. Well, as part of the backup services offering. So you no longer need to worry about the component like proxy or servers or even the storage, right? Because all of this is fully taken care of for you by Veeam service delivery mechanism. Well, customer don't have to worry about the the updates, the patches, um, and maintenance on the system as well. But again, it is covered by the underlying services. So now let's look at the right side, right? So you can see the user control on the top of the box on the right side. Well, essentially the user subscribe to Veeam Data Cloud backup services. Well, but they remain have the complete access control to create a backup job, well, to perform restore of their M365 data within the VDC user interface, right? So there are also some optional configuration and function ability built into the backup services as well, where, for example, you can customize your backup job with different retention setting, right? So, by the way, by default, the retention is 7 years for everyone. But of course, you can customize it. Well, you have all kind of security features that take advantages like role-based access control, analytic, and insight to give you a better visibility into your Microsoft 365 backup data. Well, you can also restrict the access to the Veeam Data Cloud web interface, right? By you by your preferred IP address range. So as of August 2024, right, last year, uh, Microsoft after Microsoft launched their backup storage API, right, Veeam has been selected as the key vendor, right, and we follow very quick along with Microsoft path, right? So, and we are now offering also disaster recovery type of capabilities through that Microsoft Backup Storage API. So what it does is it provides lightning fast backup. Well, not only that, the backup and lightning fast recovery capability, specifically for Exchange, SharePoint, and OneDrive for business that customer has never seen before, right? Even with large deployment of Microsoft 365 enterprise environment, we're still being able to complete backup in hours and days. Well, instead of week and months we used to expect, right? And we will be getting this capability with Microsoft 365 backup storage, right? The ability to backup fast and also give the ability to restore fast, or more importantly, you can perform bulk restore at scale, right? Especially you get increased resilience to ransomware. Currently, if you have a trouble getting large amount of data, um, a large amount of M365 data backup at scale, and it will be difficult to handle ransomware attack use case, right? If you have to, because you have to wait for week or even month to get back your data. Now, with the ability to perform a bulk restore at scale, you get the capability, right, to really be resilient to ransomware attack. More significantly, with this new API from Microsoft, you are not going to be having any throttling issue, right, with Microsoft. As a lot of customer, right, have throttling through the traditional way of backup or to back up their business data, especially the first full backup, right? Okay, some of the differentiated capabilities especially with Veeam, right? Because Microsoft 365 backup storage, well, it's also open for a couple of other vendor in the ecosystem nowadays, right? So from Veeam, we will be providing advanced security access through the Veeam Data Cloud web console. Well, with the ability again to restrict IP address based on subnet range, and the ability to do MFA role-based access control. Well, there is a lot of this capability built into the Veeam Data Cloud, and we were able to uh, layer in the Microsoft 365 backup storage. Veeam were able to inherit take on this capability as well. We also support dynamic backup policy, specifically for distribution list, security group. So in traditionally in Microsoft 365 backup, if you start to backup a security group or via distribution list, when you add someone into the group, right, they won't be added into the backup policy that are already running, right, for that particular security group. With Vim, we will be able to achieve dynamically see those change and be able to add those user into your backup job automatically when they join the security group distribution list. Customer also, right, also will be able to export all the user activity log to their SIEM, SIEMs tools, or other platform that they are using. Well, Veeam is going to market with per user fixed pricing, which we have been doing for years, right? For hours, for others Microsoft 365 backup solution with Veeam. So which it is also embedded with unlimited storage. So customer do not need to worry about your Microsoft 365 data grow and how it is going to affect your bill for backup probably in next year or even next month, because it is all predictable fixed price with no bill shock, and that is something that you can use to enjoy with Veeam. Next, right, I'm going to share about the future of Microsoft 365 backup with Veeam. So what we're doing is embedding Microsoft backup solution, or you can say Microsoft 365 backup storage with the Veeam Data Cloud. You can see this visually, right, described at the bottom left of the screen, and that we call it Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365 Express, right? So we call this Express. Again, the Express main capabilities give you that is fast backup, lightning speed of backup, and lightning speed of bulk restore that we have seen from the previous slide, right? Now, on the right side of the screen, this is the product that Veeam had in the market for some time, and we rebrand to be the name of Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365 Flex Edition. So yes, the name is Flex. Okay, this is the existing backup services that grow fast right now. So we have a lot of customer taking the advantages of the flexibility and granular restore capability, right? Or the customizable backup option support for particularly Microsoft Teams, which is especially in the Flex Package Edition. And few other components like that really round out great features set to be able to take advantages in your environment. So ultimately, the choice is really given to our customer whether I want express capability, well, because I want to have a speed backup and recovery. But of course, the recovery will be in bulk restore, and at the same time, maybe I also want the flex capability, right? Or maybe customer just want the flex capability, or there is essentially a use case where customer need both, right? I need the both express, and also I need the flex as well. Well, we have it. We call it a Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365 Premium Edition. So you can call this premium. So from Veeam perspective, right, we believe that is that this offer our customer the best of both worlds. customer get the speed and scale, right, when come to through the express, and at the same time customer also get the control and flexibility when come with the flex. When you think about or of this use case that can hit your Microsoft 365 data, right? Well, customer can have some data loss vulnerabilities, and they just want to go in and perform granular item restore from their backup. Well, then when customer have a kind of disaster recovery scenario, right, of massive bulk restore needed, right, is needed, or cyber attack where customer needs something like express, this really offer a balance of speed and scale to meet control and flexibility that we expect to be the future of Microsoft 365 backup. Okay, right. I'm gonna switch the screen to live demo right now. Okay. Okay, so well, it is a backup as a services, right? What when you have subscription with us, well, all you need is an internet and a browser, right? So you can sign into the portal. Essentially, if you look at it, the authentication is still go through your sign in with your Microsoft ID. Okay, best practice, we encourage all our customer to enable the MFA as well, so that there is another layer of security when you try to authenticate and sign in to the Veeam Data Cloud for Microsoft 365. So I'm gonna do a sign in right now. So you're gonna authenticate through Microsoft. If everything okay, you will see a dashboard, right? Right, there you go. So this will be the main dashboard, right? So we show you some backup status about your job, right? So when is the last backup job run, what is the status, and how many restore point, right, you have so far. Okay, and we also give you some compliance figure, right? Okay, how many user is being backup right now, uh, out of your total of your M365 user, and we give you a percentage, right? So backup retention by default, well, the services offering by default 7-year retention. Okay, of course, don't get me wrong, this can be customizable in the flex, right? So in the flex, we are talking about the flex right now for 7-year retention. Of course, the Microsoft Express will be follow Microsoft policy, which will be shorter. Okay, so well, in flex, 7-year can be customizable until decade, right? Unlimited, and we also show you when is your oldest restore point, right? So that you know, okay, this is the oldest data I can recover from. Well, out of that, we also show you some Microsoft 365 activity, right? So, your license activity throughout the number of month or number of few couple of months, how many inactive, how many become active, and of course, the next thing will be the Veeam Data Cloud licensing, right? It works very similar with like Microsoft, fixed price per user, right? And Microsoft 365 storage, right? We also show you some how it looks, how your production Microsoft 365 uh, utilization of the storage looks like. And we will give you the top user, right, that utilize the most of the storage in your M365 at the moment. Okay, so I move down a bit, right? So if I move down a bit, you see, right, all the recent activity will be tracked over here, right? You can see click on the view detail, right? If I wanted to know in the history, know what who's doing what, all the activity being tracked over here, you can export the user activity logs as well. Okay, so pretty quick, I will click on the backup policy, right? So this, once I subscribe with the services, I'm on board with the product, and then to start up with my M365 backup, now essentially less than 30 minutes, I can start backup my 365 data now. Okay, so I gonna simulate if I want to create a new backup policy right now. Okay, so because this is a lab in US and I have a premium edition, right? So as a result, I can enjoy the benefit of creating both express policy and also the flex policy. Okay, so let's go through, right? So if I want to create a new policy, express policy, that's the Microsoft Speed, lightning speed backup and bulk recovery, right? So I'm going to click next. So yep, is you can select the three major services out of it. For example, okay, I'm going to select OneDrive. Okay, click on next. Well, I can actually select the entire organization because I want to back up all the user. Okay, and whenever there's a new user join the company, it will be automatically pick up and back up. Okay, however, well, you can also select the user, right, manually. Okay, I want to back up for this couple of user, you can select them, and then or you can select it by group. Okay, probably I'm just gonna pick some sample, pick two user. Okay, right, the moment I hit the save, right, so the policy will be created. So as a result, so if you leverage Microsoft 365 backup API and if you do a backing up of the user's OneDrive, okay, so that's how easy, right, you can create a policy in your Express. So next thing, if I want to create, okay, maybe, okay, I already got an Express policy for my 50, 100 or even 1000 user. Okay, that's cover my disaster use case scenario, because when I hit with ransomware, when there's a disaster happen, I know I have express policy. When I hit the restore, so the restore will be fast, right? But well, however, I do want a flex policy for all these users as well, because in normal case, maybe I just want to restore some folder or files, granular item, or a use case is I want to keep longer. I want to keep the backup for 7 years retention, or um, probably I want to back up my Microsoft Teams data. Yeah, so you can do that. So now I can create a flag policy for my user. So I can name it, maybe I name it flex all user. You are just gonna put a demo. So you can pick a storage region. Next, okay, you can back up the entire organization again. So I just want to get everyone back up, and when new user join, it's gonna pick up. Okay, but I still can exclude with couple of user from group SharePoint, this kind of thing. Okay, you can also, right, I'm just gonna do a menu selection out of the M365 user. I'm just gonna pick, maybe in this demo, I'm just gonna pick these three user. I'm just gonna back up all their personal data, and then SharePoint, right? I can pick up the whatever SharePoint I want to back up. Very easy. You're just gonna select them, whichever SharePoint you want to back up, right? So yeah, and Teams, right? Of course, there you go. Okay, so when I hit the create button, the flex policy will be created. Okay, so that's how easy, right? You can create the policy with in the premium with express and flex policy. Okay, so now I have a backup policy over here. You see the policy type. I have a flex, I have an express for exchange, OneDrive, SharePoint. I have a flex for all my user. Okay, so if I hit on any policy, like for example, hit on any policy, the good thing is the interface is very user friendly. Whatever you need to do, I just hit on the button, and then I can see all my history job, right? I can see how many object being processed, how many item being processed, and if I want to see any job with warning, hopefully I get some warning sample over here. Yeah, I just need to select it. I click on this icon. Well, it's the logs is very user friendly. You can do a search, right? So I can do a search of a warning, right? I just want to see what happened, right? And yeah, there you go. Then you can, based on this log, you can continue with your troubleshoot, or either co- provide it to our support engineer. You can export it to CSV as well. So very easy, right? So I'm just gonna put back to all. Right, so that's the policy part. Okay, reporting, well, there are 5 type of report you can generate, or even you can schedule it to deliver to your mailbox on a daily or monthly basis. It's really up to you, right? So 5 type of report you can see over here: mailbox production report, user level production report, summary report of your backup, restore activity. So I want to know the restore activity, restore activity report to be delivered on daily or on monthly basis, right? Backup policy detail. I wanted to know, right? Is there any changes of my backup policy throughout the months, right? For example. Well, of course, advanced search and capability is definitely within this feature. You can do an advanced search out of the existing backup, right? So you can see, right? I can select Outlook, OneDrive, SharePoint, or even Teams, right? And then I can do some search criteria. I can combine with more criteria, to be honest, right? So maybe, and then this will help you to search something very deep level object that you want to recover from your M365, right? Right. So we have a backup, we have a dashboard, we have a policy, we have report, we have search capability. The next thing is the restore, right? So if I click on the backup, right, now if I want to restore something for my Microsoft Outlook's backup, I'm just gonna click on Outlooks. So instantly it will load the latest backup for you. As you can see, this is June 11. Of course, if I want to restore something older, maybe last month or last week or even on yesterday, you just need to click on this calendar icon, right? Whatever available, you just need to select the date, right? Well, there is no restore point because this is not yet running, right? Okay, right. So now this is all my mailbox backup user. You can do a search of the user to quickly search whatever user you want to perform a restore. So for example, if I'm gonna pick this particular user, Aya, so instantly you see we will expand all the mailbox folder for you. And actually there are more. I'm just gonna load more. There you go. Okay, so first thing, mailbox level restore. So if I hit on the restore selected mailbox, because I have a premium edition, right? When come to restore, I have more uh, option. I have more uh, flexible option, more capability that I can select to restore when come to a different situation, right? So for example, if this is a ransomware use case or this is a critical issue, I need to bring the mailbox, um, this super VIP mailbox back to production in lightning fast. There you go. So I have a express full restore. So you're just gonna select express full restore. Okay. Pick the restore point you want. By default, you will go to the latest restore point, but of course you can pick it up from a older restore point, right? There you go. Right? You can pick any older restore point that you want to do in the express to restore. Okay, so once that is selected, you hit the express full restore, the restore process will start, right? So, so this is the express restore use case, right? So, in case, okay, I actually not kind of in a rush, the user maybe already left the company or on leave, right? So I can take time to do some restore. Okay, so I can choose the flex restore. Okay, flex restore give you more flexibility, give you more granular stuff to select, right? So I can select, restore the mailbox back to original location, right? So I with all these change item, missing item, mark restore as unread option that you can customize, right? So yeah, I can also restore in case maybe Arya no longer with the company. Okay, well, first option is you can't really restore it back to original, right? Because most likely Arya Microsoft 365 ID will already be deactivated or even decommissioned from the Microsoft end. Well, there's always an option. That's why we call it flex. You can restore the mailbox to another user mailbox, right? Maybe the can restore it to the manager gray mailbox, right? And put it under a restore folder with the same advanced option that you can customize. Well, if this is not something that you prefer, we offer more option, right? I can also download the mailbox. Okay, I can download the mailbox in Flex. I can download the entire mailbox to the PC, right? To the machine that I log into this portal, or you for large object, anything more than 2 GB, right? Pick the download in background. Okay, so it gives you better experience. So, well, this is the mailbox level, right? So as you can see the differences, right? So and the use case of both of this backup. And then if come to a folder level, I pick on a demo folder. When I hit the restore selected folder, there you go, right? So more granular stuff, I can restore only this particular folder with flex, right? Because this is not urgent, but I just need to do a folder or file level restore. Well, there you go, same four option that you can perform your restore. And even if I hit on the inbox, right? So if I hit on the inbox, I'm just need to restore maybe one or five email, right? So you can sort by moral. Okay, I want to see 100 email. You can do some filter as well, right? Because normally inbox there will be tons of email. So you can do some filtering to find your email. So if I pick up these three email, for example, okay, I identify these are the three email I want to restore. So there you go. You can restore it with the same four option. Okay, so by the way, the download option, after you download, well, the download file will be in the .psd format. Okay, so this is the restore capability, right? So if I want to continue to restore some other services, for example, OneDrive, I just need to have one click button. So if you load the latest restore point for my OneDrive, right? Again, very similar concept. If this is a urgent critical ransomware use case, I pick up Arya. So I'm not going to browse all those folder, right? Because I know it's urgent. I need to give the user back the entire OneDrive in the fastest way, right? So when you hit selected restore selected OneDrive, um, if you have the express policy configured, there you go. So you have I have both policy configured. So okay, I hit on the express restore, use the latest restore point, there you go. Okay, it gonna restore entire mailbox back to the user in the fastest lightning fast way. Okay, again if this is not something urgent, I want to do some flexible restore, there you go, you got the flexible options, right? The four option: original location, restore the OneDrive to another user, or no, you can download it as a compressed zip folder. Well, if I hit on any folder, right, this is considered granular, right? If I hit on this folder, there you go, I will go for the flex restore. Okay, so same option, you can select any document, you get the same option, right? Same go to the SharePoint, right? Particularly SharePoint, if you have a critical issue in your SharePoint, right? You lost all your SharePoint file, you hit with ransomware, your SharePoint you totally gone, right? So you need to bring up all your SharePoint site. Well, you can use the Express. It's a similar concept, right? So okay, I got a SharePoint site, maybe this house Lannister teams, right? So I gotta hit the restore the SharePoint site. But of course, I just want to show you the use case, right? This on one particular SharePoint site. Okay, you got the Express full restore. I can I can restore the entire SharePoint in the fastest way. You got the Flex restore as well. Well, original location in Flex, I can restore it to original location. You're gonna replace the existing SharePoint. I can restore this SharePoint to another existing SharePoint. Okay, so with all those folder or content, of course, you enjoy the benefit of the Flex, right? So document, well, I can restore to original. I can restore to different lists. I can restore different SharePoint for all these particular folder. I can download, right? I can download them. Well, this is a SharePoint, right? So same go to the Teams, right? It's gonna be the same. But Teams, bear in mind, is only support via Flex because Microsoft at this point Express do not support Teams, right? So that's why Flex offer you the balance, right? Out of all. So while you see bulk restore actually in a ransomware use case, in a critical disaster use case, this is what you're gonna do if you got the premium or you got the express, right? You're gonna hit the bulk restore. You're gonna restore, for example, okay, I'm gonna restore the OneDrive mailbox for all these user, right? So I'm gonna select all mailbox OneDrive and click OK and hit restore, right? You're gonna restore 100 user, right? And then in one go, in one job, it give you the best because this is the Microsoft 365 backup, right? Okay, so you can restore by group as well. SharePoint site. Okay, I'm not going to do if I got 100 of SharePoint site. I'm not going to do it one by one like early on I show you, right? I'm gonna do it bulk, right? So I'm gonna select all the SharePoint site, and then I'm gonna do a bulk restore in one go. So only one restore job, I pick up 100 SharePoint site, I'm going to restore it as an express, right? So put it back to production in the fastest ways. Okay, so normally, right, in the enterprise, if you're restoring 100 of SharePoint site, if you have this kind of experience, so it's going to take very long, right? Because in the legacy way of backup, but now with this Microsoft integration, Microsoft backup storage API, well, we are talking about maybe hours, right? Or maybe days. It depends on how big is your SharePoint data, of course, right? Instead of we are talking about it gonna takes months to restore all this 1,000 or 500 user data. Okay, okay. So we look at the restore, and then there is a notification as well. Again, this allow you to view all the activities and more importantly the settings, right? We talk about the role-based access control. Remember? Wow. Well, you can create unlimited role over here. Okay, you see this blue color, it's just an off and on button, right? It's all those, each of this on and off button is actually uh essentially turn on something that you can do for this particular role. For example, right? So I can add a new role. Okay, okay, maybe I just do a help desk. I want to create a help desk role. So I only want the help desk to be able to browse and restore, particularly probably email. Okay, and I don't want them to be able to manage the backup. I don't want them to be able to view my backup policy, particularly download. Don't want. I don't want to be able to download anything. Well, this is particular one of the simple, role-based role access control you created. Of course, more granularly, it can be very powerful, right? For example, let me show you. Okay, when come to restore Outlook, okay, this role, I actually allow them to access backup for the entire tenancy. Okay, it can be granular until, okay, not really. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it off. I'm just gonna allow this whoever assigned this role to be able to access the backup of Outlook for particular group. Okay, so perfect example. Okay, maybe a finance department manager, right? So he want to be able to access, to be able to conduct restore for the finance department people. So you can do that, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna change it back. Same go to SharePoint, right? SharePoint, and you can also, right? You can also control the role, right? Okay, this particular role, am I allow him to do a bulk restore? right? Because is critical situation, right? When you do a bulk restore icons, it kind of replace, right? So so I want to turn off for normal user. So you can create multiple role, and the next step is once you prepare all your role-based access control role, well, you can add a user, right? So or you can add a user, you can add a role by Entra ID group, or you can add a user. For example, you specify your email, first name, last name. Okay, I'm gonna send him a welcome email. I'm gonna use Entra ID group or direct, and then I'm gonna grant him maybe a limited restore role. Or you can combine, right? Sometimes you can combine two row for this particular person. Very easy. If you look at it, it's very easy, very clear cut, right? When it comes to role-based access control and delegate to group or user. When it comes to billing, well, this is where you can see your billing, and you can see whichever user, right, utilize the license, right? And when was the last backup. You can export to CSV as well. When come to system, I want to show you is this self-service, right? So, well, in a particular company, they might have a busy backup admin, and they might consider to open up everything, right? So the self-service restore to all the user in the domain. So that's mean each of the user in the domain, they can actually log into this Veeam Data Cloud portal, right? And essentially when they log in, they can see their own Outlook, OneDrive data, right? The personal SharePoint data, the personal Teams data. They can perform the recovery on their own. Because you look at the rest recovery option is quite straightforward, right? It's quite simple and easy. Okay, so you can enable that. Of course, you can enable them partially for particular user. Remember, you can create a self-service restore role and you delegate to a group of person. Okay, so networking. So, well, you can restrict the end user who access to this Veeam Data Cloud portal by specify the IP range. Well, you can add an IP range, right? So, for example, I just want them to log into this portal when they are in the office network. I don't want my staff to go to the Starbucks, connect to the public Wi-Fi, and log into this portal because it might not secure, right? So logging, well, again, we can, if you have a syslog server, well, we can push the syslog to your syslog servers. Okay, organization detail, well, this will be the details, right? So you're gonna provide, and yeah, support, right? So it's just gonna works the same like any other Veeam product, right? So it come with when you have a subscription with Veeam, uh, you have a maintenance contract with Veeam, you can open a support case 24/7, right? So yeah, and just in case, right, if you have a more complicated Microsoft 365 environment, for example, you have multiple subscription. So you might have a lot of child company, right, with different subscription with Microsoft. Well, we do have a solution, right? We have we for example, I have an example over here, right? So I have FPGA SE demo. This is different subscription of Microsoft, and we have a what we having here right now is Veeam US demo. So I can switch the view. So basically, once I switch the view, I'm going to manage this different subscription backup accordingly. So as you can see, right? So protected account. If I click on the policy, wow, essentially, right? This particular subscription, I only have flex backup policy. So you can switch among both so long you are the VDC admin of both. You can manage both backup within your company. Okay, last thing about the version, actually do not need to worry a lot about this versioning, right? Because remember the day two operation, the patching, the updates, all those things being handled by our Veeam Data Cloud team now. Okay, so of course we do constantly perform patching and feature update, right? In a weekly basis, right? So and constantly add on new feature to this product. Well, overall, that's the product, right? That's the product, right? So this is the main dashboard. Again, if I scroll down now, there you go. You see, this is my name, right, Derek? Create, I just demo you, right? Although I didn't trigger any restore, but I did some browse, right, during the restore session. There you go. Is everything being tracked, right? Right. That's the product itself. Let's switch back to the PowerPoint deck. Okay, so yeah, whatever I show you, whatever I walk you through, right? So we do have a storyline. You can use your mobile to scan the QR code, or I can also paste it in the chat. You know, uh, that you can go to the URL from your, if you have a computer, so that you can hit on the link and play around with the interface if you want to know more, and then you can start engaging our sales, right? Okay, I play around with the interface, looks user friendly, that's all our customers say, to be honest. And then okay, so I'm just gonna paste a couple of things in the chat. Okay, so you can play around. First of all, this is the storyline, right? So it gives you some walkthrough of our VDC Cloud, Veeam Data Cloud for M365 interface. And the next thing is the okay, so maybe once you play around in the interface, you feel like, okay, I might require a further discussion with the sales Veeam sales representative, or potentially I want to have a technical demo session to understand more about the product. Yeah, there you go. So you can use your phone. If you have a mobile, you can scan the QR now, or I have pasted the link, HTTP link in the chat box as well. Feel free to hit it if you have a laptop with you, if you have a computer with you, so you can submit your request over here. So the last thing, right? So I know we have limited time today, right? So comparison features, comparison between Flex, between Express, and also combination of both, we call it premium. There is a lot of features comparison you wanted to know more about. Well, don't worry about that. Well, you can hit on the QR code, or again you can hit on the HTTP link. It provides a very simple and detailed comparison table for you to understand difference between uh, this Flex and Express. Okay, so so that is my last deck on today. Okay, so let me just go back to the tools and see is there any question. Just give me a moment. Okay, I see there's plenty of question been asked. Sorry, because I am alone today, so I have to look at the question and the last portion of couple of minutes. I try my best, right? So the first question is about the speed. Okay, how is the processing power and completion rate in doing daily backup of 1005 user for all Teams, Outlook, SharePoint, and OneDrive? Okay, so Thomas, well, first of all, if you're looking for speed, heard your keywords, right? The speed. So I will direct you to the Express, because this is the Microsoft backup storage method. It's kind of like a snapshot method, right? So when it snap, it's pretty fast. It can snap everything lightning fast. And the best thing is avoid throttling from Microsoft. There is no throttling from the Microsoft. Okay, so that give you the best performance. But the thing is, I see you put a Microsoft Teams over there. At this point, Microsoft Backup Storage API do not support Teams yet. Well, you can use Flex, Veeam Flex Edition, to protect your Teams or even Outlook, SharePoint, and OneDrive at the same time, which go for premium. So is there an RBAC rule that specifically admin cannot open the mailbox, but they can check the backup status? Yes, Thomas. Yes, yes. The option is there. So can I suggest can you suggest me a best practice to auto backup the whole organization stuff? So currently I use a manual way to take and backup into it's very inefficient. So easiest way, Gabriel, the easier ways I can suggest you is if you are if you have a variable license, go for variable license, and when you configure your backup, select the entire organization. Okay, so any new employee join to the organization, it will automatically pick up and back up. Okay, of course at the same time you still can do some exclusion for some particular user that you do not want to protect. Yeah, so that will be the best option. And of course, uh if you don't want that, the group option might be the second option. So for okay, Okay, I got an interesting question from James. It seems like James is quite familiar with our product, right? So because it's an Entra IT backup question. Yes, James, you are right. Actually, Veeam already can support backup of the Entra ID in VDC as well. It's part of the VDC offering as well. Unfortunately, it's not using the same console. It will be the same console with the Veeam backup for Salesforce. Well, but ultimately the last mile, the roadmap is everything will be in one console where we are working on it. But at this point of time, yeah, Entra IT backup will be in another console. Same with the Veeam backup for Salesforce, offering under the VDC product family. And there is a package, there's an offering, right? So if you go for premium, right, actually it's automatically okay. Let's say I forgot to mention everyone, right? If you are subscribed to VDC Premium Edition, well, it's automatically cover the Entra IT backup as well. So you do not need to pay additional. So you can back up your Entra ID, your backup with Express, Flex plus your Entra ID. Okay. So will it possible to forward for long character or security audit purpose? Yes, Thomas, that is possible. If you are existing customer, I encourage you to open the support and talk to our support, and they will be able to help you throughout the step. Uh, well, Stewart, I heard you, China region, at this point, no supported yet. Sorry about that. Well, we're working on it. At this point of time, China region is not supported yet for VDC offering, right? Can it back up Azure setting, Gabriel? Well, I mean configuration and setting. Um, I think, Gabriel, this will be in another product, VDC, Veeam Data Cloud for Azure, right? Those is the proper product, right? I think it protect your Azure workload, like your Azure uh VM, your Azure databases, all those things. So so what is the maximum network throughput when doing the backup? So Thomas, if you're talking about the Express, I don't have the figure, right? I don't have the figure, but I just can tell you is lightning fast in Express, right? Because this is compared to the Flex. Flex, yeah, it do offer you longer retention, granular recovery, download option, it support teams, but it's when we process the backup, it's by object. But the Express, right, is offered by Microsoft and is stored in the same, is stored in the, you know, better performance storage and Microsoft backup storage, and it's kind of like a snapshot, right? When we snap, it snap everything in one go. So I only can tell you it's lightning fast as I tested. So where can I set time to start backup? Okay, so Kyrie, so by default, because this is a backup as a services offering, by default, the moment you start onboarding, you start creating your first backup policy. When the backup kick in, that's the your schedule. That's mean it will run daily by default. Of course, don't get me wrong. If you want a different timing, right? For example, I want to run a backup every 8 hours, every 12 hour, it can be customizable. You All you need to do is talk to our support. They will be able to work together with you to customize based on your requirement. But of course, because this is a backup as a services, right? So everything will be default for everyone. Can you estimate the speed of the express restore? Uh, yes, actually, if you want to estimate, actually, you can go to the Microsoft. I don't have it right now, but I read about the Microsoft. You can go and check to the Microsoft backup, Microsoft 365 backup, right? They give you some figure over there. Okay, they actually give you some figure over there. If I'm not mistaken, but is around 1 hour, it can achieve 1 to 3 terabyte, okay, of restore. Okay, so it's quite decent, right? 1 to 3 terabyte in an hour, So how long flex backup from 1 GB team? Sorry, I can't give you the exact answer because you are talking about 1 GB teams. If you're talking about normal data volume size, okay, I mean what I'm talking about is number of folders, number of object inside in a flex, right? So if you are talking about general things, one gig shouldn't take long, to be honest. Okay, it shouldn't take long, it should be quite fast. Okay, but if you are talking of you have a 1 gig of teams that, but inside you got million of small file, well, I can tell you it does take some time. Okay. Can we do a backup while the user is still using their OneDrive Outlook? Yes, James, definitely. This is definitely um and this is definitely yes. Yeah. You've got a 300 user. Okay, if an organization have 300 user, okay, but I just want to back up one non-personal SharePoint. That's mean the collaboration SharePoint site, right? So I have 300 user in total Microsoft 365, right? I just want to clarify, right? So, but my requirement is I just want to back up one collaboration SharePoint site. Okay, how is the license calculate? So the license will be calculated based on how many user accessible to this collaboration SharePoint site. So if you have 300 user accessible to this SharePoint site daily, they constantly update, they constantly open a folder, constantly create new folder. Yes, you need to license all the user who accessible to this SharePoint site. That's the EULA, that's the end user license agreement, right? So okay, so I think I will go through. There's a lot more question to go through. I think yes, we have 2 more minutes. Let me try my best to answer all. Can I mix Flex and Express plan? Uh, Flex and Express, yes, yes, you can mix. By the way, you can also go for premium to get both. Okay, so bulk restore. Okay, what is we already backup file with 0-day malware? When doing restore and the malware was detected, will Veeam restore block the restore? So I assume what you mean is, okay, so you do a bulk restore, that means this will be express or even premium, right? So you have a premium or express, and the backup timing, don't forget, Wong, Miss Gokchen. So your backup timing can be very short in express. It can be down initially phase, it can be every 10 minutes if you snap a copy. So, well, you can always restore from you got plenty of restore point to get back to the clean copy. But of course, if you talking about doing the restore, is there any mechanism to detect, is there any malware in the backup? Uh, that is in our roadmap. at this point of time, and it is our main roadmap. We know about this, yeah, but at this point, no. But very soon, I can tell you. Okay. Okay, so the VDC backup storage can be located in different. By the way, Gokchen, you can always engage our sales so that if you have any inquiry, right? So we can liaise accordingly, right? So or even if you need some support from support, you can always open a support case if you are our existing subscription VDC customer. Okay. Okay, so last question. I think this will be the last question. I try my best. The VDC backup storage, right? So can be located in different zone or different region from the Office 365 tenant region. So the quick answer, if Express, no. Okay, for Express, it's gonna be the same region as your production 365. For fixed, is offer more flexibility, right? That's the whole idea, right? For fixed edition, yes, you can you can request to I want to store my backup in different region, right? So but of course take note, right? For example, if your Office 365 in located in Singapore, Southeast Asia region, Singapore, and of course, if you back up to Singapore region, storage will be they give you the best performance, right? So if but of course, if you go and pick a storage, technically you can request, no problem on that. Our support will do for you. But of course, if you going to pick a storage in US, right? So you do expect there are some performance degrade, right? Because we are sending the data all the way from Microsoft 365 in Singapore data center, send it to a Microsoft Azure data center in the US region. So yeah, just take note on that. Okay, so that's end my all the question for today. I do apologize if I didn't answer your question because we are running out of time. And again, thanks everyone to join today's session. And I really appreciate for all the question you guys uh, ask. And again, if you have any further clarification, any requirement, feel free to engage with our sales, right? Our sales representative will be able to help you to carry out the further discussion. And then, of course, if you are existing subscription customer, you need some support. Well, always go to log and support case. It's 24/7. You're gonna enjoy the support, right? Because you're entitled for it. Okay, so that's end my session for today. Again, thanks everyone for joining today webinar. I hope it does help. Have a nice day, everyone.